Hi, it's Black Witch. Thank you for joining me. Now in this video, I'm going to get really practical with you and show you how to have that spiritual bath. Now instead of a spiritual bath, I'm going to show you how to have a spiritual shower. I'm going to make the assumption that you're time poor just like me, and maybe you don't have time to make that herbal bath mixture, and maybe you don't have time to actually pour yourself a bath and actually do this process in a bath, or maybe you don't even have a bathtub, because a lot of us live in big city situations or houses that don't have bathtubs. What do? Do you just not get spiritually cleansed? No, there is a solution that you can do. I'm going to show you. Now, don't get all caught up in tradition. That's the other thing. You know, people have been doing spiritual bathing for absolutely yonks. And when you even think about the major religions, we go to churches and we christen or baptize our children, and we get the minister to say a few prayers, and we put some water on the baby and we say, right, that baby's cleansed now, it's blessed for life, and that's it. It's done once and that's actually it. Well, with spiritual cleansing, we're actually using the same type of idea, if you like, but what we're doing is we're going to be doing this for the purposes of if you are hexed, if you're cursed, or even if you're a little bit like me and you're doing some hexing and cursing, then you want to be able to remove some of that energy from your body in a spiritual way. And that's what I'll be showing you how to do. Now, how do you actually prepare for this bath? Well, there's a couple of things. As you can see, I'm getting ready for this bath right now, making sure I don't give out too much information. I want you to go and get a little bucket and get a little cup. Now, I use plastic, quite small, right? But when I'm in this bath, I want to be able to scoop out the water and be able to pour it down over me. We're going to be pouring it down over our bodies, okay? The front, then the back, okay, and then the arms. And it's quite fast once you're actually in the motion, when you're in motion, but still there is a method to the way I do it. It's a little bit different from how you may have been shown previously, but I'm actually a pranic healer as well, so I use some of that, the theme of pranic healing or pranic negative energy removal when it comes to also my spiritual cleansing, and I'll tell you why in a second. But you're going to be having your cup in a bucket to scoop it out. Then what you'll be doing is actually using some water that has had that is pure. So you can purify your water by even having rainwater if you want, or you can put like 2 liters of water outside under the full moon. So let the full moon energy charge your water. Or maybe if you've got an energy plate, you could sit this on an energy plate and allow the water to be charged energetically there. If you don't have any of that, don't sweat it. You can actually just boil some water, let it cool, and use that as well. No biggie. I'm going to assume that you're busy and you don't have time to go and get the herbs that you need. For example, hyssop or rue or whatever detoxing or spiritually cleansing herbs that traditionally you would boil on your stovetop, strain it out through some level of strainer into a mason jar, and then use that. For me, why not just buy it? It's about $5 and it's awesome. I'm not going to say a brand because I don't really care which brand you use, but you might be able to see the herbs floating around in there. I've already had one spiritual bath with this, so it's about quarter way down. So because my skin is tolerant to this type of stuff, I can use about a quarter of that mixture into this with the water, but maybe you have sensitive skin, so you might just want to use about 1/8 of this mixture. See how you go personally. Prep it up, no problem at all. Bob's your uncle, you're ready to go. The other thing I want you to note is that this isn't a bath that you would have at the end of the day just to get yourself clean before bed. This bath is a spiritual bath, so you'll be having this bath after you would have, say, a normal bath or shower. The idea is to be clean before you've actually had your spiritual bath. So I've already done a little bit of cleansing myself, and I'll be removing my makeup and making sure I'm 100% clean before I actually get in to have a spiritual bath. So I did mention a little bit about the pranic style of doing this. Now, pranic healers don't traditionally do these spiritual baths because I'm a chaos witch. I tend to fuse things because I've learnt so many different methods and styles. And what I can do now is cherry pick what I like about different methods and styles and actually create my own methods for doing things that actually work very well. So in pranic healing, what you're doing is actually removing the negative energy from your aura, and the purpose of that is to actually help release the chakras. So we've got 7 chakras that we know about in the body. Actually, there's a whole bunch more, but there's 7 that we typically work on, and they're all responsible for different areas of your body. Don't concern yourself with that too much. But the idea is that when we're spiritually cleansing, we're removing the toxicity from our aura, and that helps our chakras begin to spin. Our chakras should be spinning. And actually, our chakras aren't inside of us. The chakras actually sit a little bit away from the body. So when I'm doing pranic healing or energy healing, I'm feeling the energy of that individual. And what I'm doing is removing any type of toxicity, and you can feel it in someone's auric field, and then healing that area. Or if I'm doing bad work, I could be filling that area with some toxicity. But what we're doing is removing all of that toxic energy, and then we're ensuring that the aura can be as bright and projects itself as far enough out from the body to be able to protect us in the future. So I don't want to turn this into a gigantic lecture. I want to get into the bathroom and show you how to have a spiritual shower very easily. Maybe take 10 minutes of your time, 15 minutes of your time, and feel awesome afterwards. Okay, let's get in the bathroom. So another thing that's really important to note before you jump in the spiritual shower, okay, see I've got my bucket full of water here in my little cup. If I jump in right now and think that I'm going to have a normal shower and wash my hair and cleanse my body, that's not actually a spiritual shower. And so what I'm going to do now is just put this little prepared mixture down here. I'm going to have a normal bath, and then I'm going to get into state in order to be having my spiritual bath. Okay, so remember, we're doing this method of having a spiritual shower, if you want, because we're modern witches and we want to do a traditional practice, and so we're just being creative with the way we're doing it, but that doesn't mean we're losing the spiritual intention of what we're doing. So I'm going to put this down, have a quick shower, and then I'm going to do my spiritual practice. Okay? Okay, now we're actually ready to do the spiritual cleansing. So I'll be getting my water and my little cup, and I'll be actually drawing in on spiritual energies that I personally use when actually asking for spiritual cleansing. So a lot of times I'll just be drawing down a white light source energy, I call it a lot, and I'll be imagining that this energy is coming from above and coming into my body. Now, if you wanted to do it a little bit more traditionally, you could either use Psalm 51, and that is typically the psalm that you would use in conjure when you're using hyssop to actually remove any sin that one may have committed by engaging in aggressive magical work from your spell casting. So if you've hexed or cursed another person, this would probably be the right type of psalm for you to use. Otherwise, you'd probably want to use 53. That's for protection from those who want to do you evil. So now that I've finished my bath, I'll tell you what I was really thinking when I was doing the water pouring over my head. So the way I was pouring the water over my head is a little bit like the way you clear negative energy off you when you're doing pranic healing sessions. And the idea is that you use your hands and you go down the front of your body, you're scanning and removing the negative energy from the front of the body, and then you're doing the back, and then you're doing around the sides, the arms, and you're removing all on a downward stroke the negative energy, and you're flicking it away into the salt water in pranic healing. Well, this is the same concept. What you're doing from your aura, you're removing the negativity that is affecting your chakras. If you're cursed or hexed, what's happening is actually your chakras are blocked. They've stopped spinning, and that's depending on which chakra is blocked. It's stopping the flow of energy, or your connection to source energy, your connection to Jesus, God, any deity lower. It's stopping your connection from up above to come into your auric space. And so these types of rituals is purification from above. So in pranic healing, we're removing it from the auric layer, and that is the same type of methodology I use when I'm actually doing my spiritual cleansing removal. It's probably not something that you've heard of before when it comes to spiritual baths, but I'm teaching you my own unique style. Okay, so when you finish doing that, and you've said either your psalm, or you're just asking for a blessing from spiritual source, or doesn't matter what deity, lower energy that you're using, you're just asking for the blessing and the removal of all the negativity. And once the water is being removed and going down the drain, you're visualizing all that negativity being washed away. That's the main goal. So let's go over a few of those key points I was talking about. When you come out of the bath, traditionally you would air dry. If you were seeing a root worker, they might smoke you and do some extra work on you. But if you're at home yourself, you can either allow yourself to air dry, or if you're really in a rush, you might just want to quickly pat dry yourself. Remember, the idea of air drying is so some of those great oils and herbs that you've been using actually stick to your body for as long as possible. But if you gotta go, you gotta go, and that's totally cool. Remember, you've done the hard work. Secondly, it's traditional to actually scoop up some of that water and throw it out towards the east. That's cool. When I'm back in my house, I can do that. But when I'm here and I'm staying in an apartment, firstly, my neighbors aren't going to like it if I throw a bucket of water at their front door, or if I throw a bucket of water over the veranda. I'm sure the people walking below are not going to like me for very long. So what you can do is just allow that water to keep going down the drain. And visualization is the most important thing. What you're doing when the water is running down your body, right, removing from your body, so from your head down to your toe, you're removing all that negative energy, all your baneful work, and it's in the water now, and it's going down the drain, and it's getting removed by the drain. And that's it, it's done. So just say it's done and don't even think about it. Get on with it. The other thing I want you to know about this type of work is after you do a ritual, you sort of feel like, what do I have to do next? The most important thing when you've done, especially a very spiritual ritual, is just get on with your day. Go and have some food, watch some TV, go for a walk, go and do something, rather than just lolling around and feeling like you've got this spiritual connection now. We're on this physical plane and we have to get practical. So you don't, just because you get on with your day doesn't mean that you're less spiritual or less magical. It means that you're enjoying this human state, this human condition, and you're taking advantage of it. So don't get stuck too much in the woo-woo. Now, I hope this has helped you and that you've enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.